All right, so
That's such a pretty picture.
I'm gonna go off of what I know by default, or what I remember from default. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also gonna like
I'll hold comments and objections to the end.
wait. Don't look at this. You'll see it.
Don't look at it.
Actually, I'll just reset that because it doesn't actually matter. Because the picture's just for the picture. All right, so
Just try
I
to
have.
avoid spoilers because I haven't seen the end.
Oh, I will not. Kyle, I literally have, like a script that I wrote because
Oh my
I was
God.
well, no, because I was watching this with one of my favorite
Dude,
streamers.
sometimes you just gotta do it.
Well, no, one of my favorite streamers is Zell, and the reason I watched this is because he had a thing called what was it called? It was we weekends.
He does weeb talks with Lily.
Yeah, and so what happened was on weekends he would watch a couple of new anime that have aired, and essentially he decided to do this in the middle of a run of some anime, and so the two that he wanted to do were two that were new at the time, which was Kakegurui, which was one about gambling. Like essentially the high school environment was essentially gambling, and your status was how much you have won gambling, and if you
Oh, I remember
if you
seeing
lost a
the,
bunch,
like,
if you lost a bunch, you were
tropes for
essentially
that.
yeah, and if you
It
lost a
was,
bunch, you
like,
were essentially a pet.
super like weird though. Like
Yeah,
people
no,
got,
it wouldn't. So like, yeah, it would not have been for you specifically, Kyle, because there's a character that specifically super hard gets off on gambling to the point where spoilers.
yes, absolutely.
She literally
jacks herself off with like
yeah. So the other one was made in Abyss, right? And he was like, okay, so catch up to episode 4 on both because this is the part that we're in the anime season, and then we'll watch it together from there, right? And I watched it together with them for 3 episodes. And then I watched... Oh, no, sorry. It was episode 6. And then I watched 1 episode with them. I watched episode 7 with them. And then I watched the rest with my friends because I didn't want to watch it piece by piece. So, I wrote this... At episode 7 is when I wrote this, right? So this is going to be not spoilery. Like, it's literally up until episode 7. Maybe 8. So, here's the thing, right? My first issue with the show, okay? I'm just going to read this directly off to you, okay? And then I'm going to kind of bounce myself off, okay? My main issue with the show is a few things. Firstly, it's very clearly established that the shit in the lower parts of the abyss could very easily kill literally anyone, let alone this little girl who is at the age of approximately 12.
yeah, she's got
two-
the like 12-ish by
Yeah.
the way.
And two differently, completely sane as adults, them being leader and her uncle, knowing that she is a kid, let her go further into the abyss by herself. Granted, she does have the robot from the depths, but they don't really know much about him, so that shouldn't mean it's okay for her to go. I feel the biggest issue with this part is that it was very, very clearly established that anyone who goes into the abyss improperly was very clearly doomed, and only the adults in the show I respected, the only adults in the show that I respected showed no restraint in letting her go down for no reason as far as I'm concerned. I wrote this before they did the reveal of why she's going to go down into the abyss, but that still should not be a reason to me. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming you saw that episode, Kyle. All they really explain, it's not really a spoiler. All they really explain is that because she was born in the abyss, she's naturally drawn to the abyss.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. And she's got some kind of like not resistance.
So, my biggest gripe with this, okay? And when I talked about this with Liam, he explained that essentially death seems to be something that is mostly, if somebody dies in the abyss, it's mostly like it's a celebration of their life. Like they not necessarily frowned upon that they died, but it's more so celebrated that about all the accomplishments of their life, right? Which is fine, but the main character, I didn't get that personally when I watched it, right? The main character being 12-ish, maybe even less, like also does not have this feeling. Like she does not express this ever. That death is kind of like a thing that's celebrated rather than feared. Because other than the fact that she wants to go into the abyss, because she's super worried about her mother being dead all the time. And at never does anybody say that's weird that you're worried about your mom. So that never came across to me. It's very, very, very weird. Regardless of her uncle and leader knowing that she's going to be drawn there, to just let her go down. And that episode, it made me smile when this happened, because I remember exactly what happened, Kyle. When we watched it together, we watched the episode where her uncle found her, and then she was like, no, I want to go down by myself, and her uncle was like, all right, and you were like, the show is so good. That was the exact moment that I said, this show sucks. Because that, to me, makes no sense. He is a purple whistle. He knows what the fuck is down there. And everybody there knows she was on the surface and almost died. If it wasn't for this fucking robot boy's blast that took out his fucking memory. So,
Well, it's also worth pointing out in that aspect that was something from like a level 3 that came up to level 1.
okay, but they know that she's planning on going to the bottom where her mother is a black whistle and he's a purple whistle. He's a
white whistle.
Is he a white whistle? Wait, what was it?
Black.
Yeah, he's a black
Sorry,
whistle, and she's a white. Yes, she's okay. So the only character I'm completely fine with letting her do this is the Ox, because she's fucking insane, and she's cool and she's insane. She wouldn't give a fuck about this kid. Like
That's just it. Her whole thing is like literally, oh, you're basically going to off yourself.
Yes,
your mom.
That's completely fine with me. When I met that character and I was like, oh, this makes complete sense for this character, and so her friends being fine with it, other than the one at the beginning, and then kind of coming around to it, like he's a kid and that's peer pressure, and the other kids want her to find her mom. That's whatever. Like I'm not super upset about that, and Reg. I don't remember exactly what his name is, being fine with it because he's super naive and doesn't actually know that much about anything, right? That's fine. Like, omission of knowing what bad things are is fine to me. The crazy woman being like, she's crazy and she just doesn't give a fuck, makes sense. It makes sense that she would not care, right? Her uncle and leader being okay with her going down there is not cool to me within the parameters that this show has set up, okay? The other thing is that I put in here, I know exactly what the point is. I just want to make sure I just want to read what I typed. The other white whistle at least makes sense. She doesn't care because she's semi-crazy, basically living in the abyss, and she also doesn't give a fuck. Also, she gets a moon whistle, which I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so this is one thing I just didn't like because it was weird, because they established that you have to be 15 to get a moon whistle, and then she just gets one for being down there, right? Which just doesn't make sense to me, because why even make the...
It was a blue whistle, first off, not a moon, and it was also as soon as they left, they had to return it.
And it was just specifically so that the Ox would not get in trouble for them being...
Okay. So that was a small one, like not like a big thing, but because I was just confused as to why they just gave her one when it was established that she had to be 15. But if they take it, I guess I just didn't pay too much attention to it after that. Yeah. So if they took it away, that's totally fine. Like that was just kind of a little thing.
So that no one rose questions on why a couple of red whistles are on level 2.
Okay, so here's the biggest thing, one of the bigger gripes I have as well, okay? And this might just be a me thing. Another huge gripe I have with it is that, honestly, it just feels like if they replace the cast with higher-aged teenagers, like 14 to 17-year-olds, this would at least make more sense to me, as it would feel like that's what the script was written for. If it was a group of teenagers that are friends, and one of them went down to try to find their mother, who they haven't seen in God knows how many years, I would have been more fine with that. I would have been more fine with the adults letting her go, because it would have been less of this 12-year-old who almost died being on the surface going down, versus a teenager who can probably have a better plan of learning more. Like, I mean, if you're
some semblance of self.
Yeah, some semblance of something like age, like existing, right?
Yeah.
I have no issue with the robot's age because he's a robot, but the rest of the main cast, that are kids.
12, by the way.
Yeah, that are kids that are throwing me off with the behavior. The anime basically tried to put you against the only friend in the group, whose name I don't remember, because he says the completely rational thing of, you shouldn't go down there. It's fucking dangerous. Your mom is probably dead. And as harsh as that was, that's completely fair to say.
Yes.
Remember that
That's the truth.
like, yes, that last part is him being a dick in the heat of a moment, but I feel like logically this should have
He was
led
in
to the
the
rest.
right.
This should have led to the rest of the characters siding with him over time, not the other way around. But I can understand a peer pressure change of heart as he's a kid, which the only thing I can see makes sense from them being kids. And I found that very weird that I said that earlier, and I just read that back again, because that's how I feel, right? So that's the basic I have with the plot in itself, right? I have other gripes about other stuff. One of the reasons I feel this way about it is because I really loved the premise of the show.
Yeah.
The show's premise is fucking spectacular. There's a bit, like, it sets something up, and then everything it tells you about the universe makes sense. I mean, other than, like, the plausible deniability of this giant hole just exists here, right? Like, I mean, it just appeared, like, they found it, sure, whatever, this hole just exists. And it goes to what you can assume would be not actually the center of the Earth, because that would make it literally impossible to go down there and exist.
Whoa, that's getting crazy talk right there.
But it goes down, right? And it makes sense that literally this place is a huge area of commerce, because anything you find down here, you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. So even the most basic shit you find on level 1 is going to make this place pretty rich.
Yeah. There's one thing I do need to note with being a... that they do establish later on why it's important that they're young, why it's important for them to be younger going down instead of older. I do completely agree. It would have worked a lot better if they were mid to late teenagers, but they do establish
So here's the thing, right?
later on why it's important that she's 12.
So that's fine if they establish that it's important when she's 12. Why couldn't they have just written it that they were 14 to 17 and then established that she needed to be that age instead? Like, there's nothing stopping the writer from establishing that they have to be 15 instead of 12. Or 21 instead of 12 or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, there are events that happen later on that required her to be that, required her to be that age.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure would have worked if they were older.
Fair enough. So yeah, again, that's the biggest thing I have, like, issue with the plot in itself. Are those things. Does it make sense to you as to why I don't really like the anime that much? When I tell you guys that?
Plot aspect. I understand from how it is right now, but I'm wondering if season 2 will clear that up with the establishment of what I mentioned.
Because I really
But
loved
I
the
wanna
first
point
couple
out,
episodes.
It's fucking bullshit.
Like the fact
what
that
I'm saying, it's
I'm
bullshit.
assuming it has something to do with blood and she's gonna get her period or some shit. That's only what I can assume because she's fucking 12. Okay.
No.
That would, I mean, I was gonna say that would be pretty, like, on the nose and, like, nitty gritty, but, like, she's pulled off more than a few, like, 12, by the way, moments where she's like, yeah, I was just drawing your dick because, like, you know, it's weird that you have one of them.
The season finale has a very big...
It is weird that she it is weird that he has a.
moment.
So for the record, it is weird that this robot has a dick.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there. It's weird that this robot has a dick, and it's weird that this robot has a belly button.
Hey, robots gotta love too.
With their belly button?
Yeah.
Like, I'm an equivalent of what would be season 3 in the manga. They haven't revealed jack shit about that.
So,
That's
I mean,
probably
I'm the
not-
realistic reason why that is probably because the most like, you know, caring thing that is easy for humans to relate to as robots would be a human shape. Otherwise, because I was listening to the Best Friends talk about this not too long ago, where they were like, the most efficient robot is just like a ball with guns, essentially. Like, the only reason, like, it wouldn't have legs, it would have wheels or tank treads, like, or it would be floating. Like, there's no reason for robots to have legs other than it makes it look cooler and it makes it easier for us to relate to it. That's literally it. Legs as a feature are completely useless. Same with ears. Like the physical shape of ears as a feature, like, yes, they are good because they trap in sound, but you could just program a robot to be able to take in sound a different way and just take the ears off. Like those don't need to exist, right? The other biggest thing I had that I was upset with, this was something that I found out was actually just in the manga. It was just in the manga as well. Something that I would have just loved personally, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna just tell you what I read, what I wrote here. Something I also just didn't like was that she zoomed past the first couple levels of the Abyss. I understand that was probably because it was for one season of the anime was very short. Wanting to end the season off at a certain spot, you may need to cut stuff off. But I feel like they could have gotten into more detail in each of the levels. It shows how capable she was of surviving more than just one encounter that they have in the latter half, just before the halfway point. So that I asked specifically about this, and it apparently is the exact same way in the manga. Like they just kind of run past those levels.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of upset by that because I think it would be really cool if they spent slightly more time in the first levels.
That's actually one of my biggest like gripes I had with it as well.
Here's one thing that's a big gripe for me. Sorry to cut you off. Do you guys remember the whole do you guys remember the whole training scene on level 2 with the Ox Girl?
Yes.
That's all filler.
Really?
That did not
It's a
happen.
training arc.
Yeah, like the entirety of them going through the.
What was the last
forest
episode
and,
that you watched, Kyle?
surviving and
What was
capturing
the
hippo thing?
what was the last episode you watched,
That's
Kyle?
all filler. That did not happen in the manga. That entire training thing went through about 2 to 3 pages.
Did she leave the lookout yet when the last episode you watched, Kyle?
Ooh, she's about to leave.
Okay, so I think you just watched that episode with the training thing.
Well, no, that's the last one where we stopped watching as a group.
Okay. No, we stopped just before she actually got in.
Yeah, just before she.
We
was
stopped at
about to go
episode
into
5.
Okay.
The, outpost.
I believe.
Anyways,
it was
that
either 5 or
entire
6.
training thing did not happen
Yeah.
in the manga. That was all filler.
That's upsetting because like if you show that she is learning stuff, like learning survival stuff at each level, right? Like, and maybe like if you do this, maybe it's unfortunate because if you do this, she only like leaves the lookout when this season ends because it's only 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's really important to, at least to me, where I mean, a lot of people did not feel this way apparently because it's got like anime of the year and shit, right? But to me, it's important that this 12-year-old girl does very clearly not have that many survival skills. Like she's relying on Reg for a lot of stuff, like way more than she should. What if Reg just gets thrown off a cliff or just destroyed somehow? You are just fucked
Or
here.
for any reason stops working because he's actually a robot.
Yes, or just his memory gets erased again. You don't know what exactly erased his memory. I'm assuming it was the blast that was so big that, like, destroyed his memory. But he does.
It's literally a like ancient artifact robot from like
Yes.
the abyss, like
You
the
know-
abyss of the abyss. You know nothing about
Exactly.
it. You know nothing how to fix it. If anything at all ever goes wrong, you are actually just SOL.
Yes, 100%. Right. So like, if you establish, to me at least, if you establish that okay, it's really shitty that these adults just kind of let her go down here, but she is very clearly learning on how to survive and take care of herself better, rather than just relying on Reg a bunch. I'm gonna give a little bit more leeway there, where you're actively saying, hey, she came in here with some experience because she's been at the top level, and the motivation to go down to the bottom, but she's learning how to survive here, learning how to eat off like what's good to eat, what's not good to eat, and all that stuff, right? That would have been more fine with me. But they didn't, and that was very upsetting for me. But I learned it's the same way in the manga, and I don't know if that makes it better or worse for me, honestly, because in one case, that makes it more of a one-to-one, but on the other hand, the more one-to-one being that, I don't think I like. I would have preferred if they had to make it go faster, and there was better things in the manga to that.
There are instances in the manga where it's showing her that she's learning, that she's trying to survive, but again, they're just super quick shots.
And that's upsetting. Like
Yeah.
like again,
Yeah,
if it was like a like, not to bring it back to this. No, go ahead.
You finished it, right?
Yeah, I finished it completely.
Okay, I'm going to do this as carefully as I can. Like the part where they learn more about the abyss at the near the end. That that does happen. That's growing and learning. But it's a but it's with not necessarily the character that can do the most with it, but not. I wish that they both had learned that.
Yeah, I mean, so like, so I don't let some stuff in anime bother me. Like, the fact that she is 12 inherently doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever, right? The fact that she wants to go down to the bottom, I personally think is stupid, because, again, she almost died from being on the first level, from something that shouldn't have gone up to the first level.
But there is the establishment of why she wants to emotionally and why she wants to
Yes.
supernaturally.
But again, to me that does not excuse the adults just letting her go by herself.
Yeah,
Like-
like there's only one adult that was like, "No, I'm coming to get you."
But that wasn't even so. I mean, there's two technically, right? Because leader technically puts in the thing that says, "At dawn, I'm coming after you," and then the uncle physically goes down there, right?
And catches up with them.
Yes.
Instantly.
I hate that. Like that, I was so ready, because I was not liking it already that leader kind of just let them go when I saw that message, and that they just kind of went down, right? I was already kind of not really liking that. The fact that the uncle got there, I was like, I can get behind the uncle being with them and being like a force, and like even at some point he dies somehow, like after he's taught them a bunch of shit, and then they have to survive, and he dies, and they bring back up the whistle whenever they come back up, whenever that is, right? Like, I would have been totally fine with that. But her just going like, I want to do this myself, and he's like, gotcha, later. Like, excuse
They
me?
keep bouncing out of here.
Like, I do like that hopefully leader's going down, and hopefully he will catch up, and there will be some sort of thing, because if he catches up with them while they're...
It's established that past the first level, nobody's coming to get you.
Even then, Lear's a moon
He did
whistle,
say
so he's
he-
not going to go past the third. So he's not going to go past the second or the third. layer.
That's not necessarily true. It shows... I mean, leader very clearly cares about her way more than all the other orphans. Because of, you know, his relationship with her mother.
But it's still a matter of by the end.
The
I
thing
can't- I
is
can't
whether or not
see-
he cares about it. That, like, again, I haven't seen enough, so this is just speculation. But
Tyler,
he's a pretty, like, reasonably, like, you know, well thought out man. He makes rational decisions.
Yes, but he is a character that I could see going, because he knows that she's not at the bottom
Know
of the
that if
abyss.
she's that far down, he's probably just not going to find her.
Tyler, we
Maybe.
know where at the end of the series they ended off what level they were at,
Yes.
and I can
I don't
say,
know that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying specifically the
Yeah.
level, and I know that what level they end off at in the manga, where I'm just still waiting for more chapters.
Okay, well,
So
that's upsetting, because I want, like, I want something. I want some responsible adults to be like, wait, you just let her go down? Yeah, but she had a robot artifact, and and how much do you know about this robot artifact? Zero?
Oh, it's got a dick.
Fantastic. And you just let this 12-year-old go because she wanted to? She's 12.
I mean, in all fairness, she really
Yeah, like
wanted to.
that's the thing, right? Like I love the base of the anime, but it seems like it gives you a bunch of rules and then shits on them within the first 3 episodes to me.
So I feel like, at least with Leader, because he's seen her like entirely grow up, his decision to let her go down was more along the lines of, I legitimately cannot stop you because you will continue fighting me on this every minute of every day until you get down there either way. I might as well see you off on a positive note.
But the thing is,
Well,
so
Kyle's actually touching on something important
As
because
much
that
as-
is also touched on in the manga.
So as
for
much-
who specifically, like the relationship Leader has.
as much as I agree with that, I think you should still at every turn try to stop her from killing herself. That's literally like if I went up to you and I lived with you, Kyle, right? And I was like, I want
Nice.
to, and every day I unironically said, I want to kill myself. I want to end my own life.
I'm going to travel to North Korea.
And then no, not that, but literally, I want to end my own life. I'm going to buy a gun and I'm going to kill myself. And then one day, I say I'm going out to buy a gun, and you literally just let me go out and buy a gun, and I come back and I have a gun, and I have it up to my head, and then and you walk in the door, and then I shoot myself, and then you're like, well. Eventually he would have just done it anyway. Like that's the
Tyler.
exact same thing to me.
Tyler, in the series, because I'm just forgetting, was there the flashback of seeing Rukia's mother? Rukia?
Yes. With wait, Rukia?
Or sorry,
Is
no,
that main character?
Yeah,
What's her
Rukia
name?
Kuchiki.
Is that the
girl
main?
with the ice sword.
Or her.
Go with the ice sword.
What's her name? Ruko?
I'm sorry, I don't actually know who you're
Rico.
talking about.
Rufio, the best of Peter Pan.
Do you mean the main character?
The main character's mother.
Yes. Yes. I've seen. So
Because I'm not sure
I don't know
if
if.
you,
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. So I've seen. Kyle hasn't seen this, but I have because I'm pretty sure it's in a couple episodes, but I have seen the episode. Or episodes where it flashes back and shows the relationship between her mother and Leader.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if you missed it because I'm pretty sure that she made him promise something, which ties in with that.
I don't remember that.
Here,
But-
let me
But still,
let me
so
send
like
it to you, PM it to you.
so like a lot of the base things I love. I love the fact that when Leader sits down with her and goes, "Do you know why you have glasses?" And she's like, "'Cause my eyes are bad." And he's like, "It's because you were born in the abyss and it fucked your eyes up. There is no way to fix your eyes." That is fucking awesome. That's radical. That's cool.
I mean, in all fairness, they're pretty like not technologically advanced. It's not like they were gonna fix her.
Oh yes, but like there's no like. I mean, they have to be technologically advanced enough because they were able to make special glasses for her eyes, because her eyes aren't.
We've had eyeglasses forever.
Yes, but so you're right, Kyle. But he explains her eyes aren't fucked up like, oh, she sees 1520.
They're special like anti-abyss.
Exactly. So they're not like. Yeah, I'm not saying they're steampunk. They're very clearly on still like a levers and pulley system and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
they don't have active electricity. They still use
yeah,
cameras, right?
exactly. Yeah, like that. Like it makes.
Yeah, which is weird though because they have a robot, which is clearly electricity.
Yes, but this robot was from the abyss.
Yeah, so the abyss is just more technologically advanced.
Well, because her mom has been down there for who knows how long. So
It's been established like 7+ years.
What?
it's
if
been no, it's been
actually
from
just
before
banging
she's.
down there.
So it's been
Like
it's.
they go down there and it's like, oh, it's the 21st century here, and it's
You mean like a
Mom,
Shin Megami
why
Tensei
did
sort of
you
thing?
never come back? And she's like,
Well,
but
no,
the internet's
so-
here.
well, no.
She's like, what's an internet?
So firstly, a huge reason why she probably hasn't come back, is because of do you remember all the pains of going back up?
yes,
when you?
absolutely.
So one of them
bottom
of losing
floors
your-
are just you can never come back.
One of them
because
is
you will
literally
just
losing
die.
your
You will,
humanity.
like, yes,
Yeah.
you will transform into a beast.
Yes.
Of the
So
abyss.
What's it? It's nausea, then it's unconsciousness, then it's bleeding from all orifices, then
Mhm.
it's insanity, then it's death.
yes,
Or sorry, losing your
it's losing humanity
and
than death. Yes.
Yeah.
So, or at least they assume death because nobody's come back up from there. And how would they report something like that, ever? Right.
Yeah.
So that would be a very good reason if it puts them in the 21st century, and then they build a robot, and then she asks the robot to go up and see her daughter down. That's cool and all well and good, but I can't imagine she fully expected. If that's the case, right? I can't imagine she fully expected the robot to go up there, say, "Hey, like, you know, we should go. Your mom's down here. We should go down," and her be okay with it, and then all the adults just be cool with it too. Like that just seems asinine to me. That the adults are just like, "Sure, yeah."
Well, the thing is, obviously that's not what that's not what it is. She's not just browsing Reddit down there, and she's like, I can't leave.
Oh
my
yeah,
dude.
no,
Oh,
but
wait, no,
next.
wait, they do have electricity.
do they?
Yeah,
Uh,
because that's how she awoke.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
she had
yeah.
electrical stuff in her freaking. Well, then why
Oh wait,
the
no,
hell is-
hold on. It might not be electricity. It might be batteries, which is technically different, right?
Okay,
But
so
they also they have established airships.
Yeah, that's true. Because they live
weird.
essentially on It's steampunky.
It's Naruto consistency with
it's-
the electricity.
It's steampunky, but not steampunky to the point of having actual like super future stuff.
Yeah.
well, Steampunk is usually at its highest modern-esque stuff done through older
Yeah,
games.
it's
Like, I don't-
slightly less
steampunk
than
is not
modern.
usually like steampunk laser.
Yeah,
beams.
it's like 1950s modern.
Mhm.
It seems, with like some fantasy elements thrown in, which again I think is fucking radical.
Yeah.
I just love the idea because this comes from actually the Warcraft lore, where the island of Pandaria
Mhm.
was literally an island that no like explorer could ever come back from. If I'm remembering this correctly, it's been a hot second, but it wasn't because this island was cursed or anything. It was actually just such a cool place. Everyone who went there just never wanted to come back. They literally loved it too much, and they're like, forget
Oh, yeah.
whatever I was doing. I'm just gonna stay here forever because shit is this fly.
Well, it's also a matter
Hmm?
of the island always moves, so they couldn't navigate back even if they wanted to.
Yeah, because it was actually a giant.
But they don't want to, so it's pretty good. It's like
Ooh.
it's
Works
like
both ways.
it's a double-edged sword of amazingness.
Yes, absolutely. Where both of the edges are pointing towards
It's like-
you not having to leave.
It's like they get there and it's like, oh, by the way, the island's always moving, so it's very hard to navigate out. And they're like, what? It's very. Excuse me, why didn't you tell me this before? Oh wow, these fucking trees are.
Yeah, it's like this is so nice. Oh, this
Pretty good.
tastes so good.
Yeah.
Can't I? So what you're telling me is
I can't
damn,
leave
I
paradise.
have to stay here.
Well,
and
you
keep
pulled
eating
my
this
leg.
delicious food for and 6 women. Oh, oh my God. It's gonna take me a while to get through that.
6 women.
Jeez.
Oh man.
And he's
Yeah.
like going to his second in command. He's like, all right, I've got a lot of work to do before we can try to navigate our way back. I'm gonna have to map out 1 or 2 entire rotations of the island's movement before we even consider leaving. And he's like,
Yeah.
sir, I think like the mist still hasn't closed in. We could probably. He's like, no, listen, there's no way. I need. A
He like
couple
he grabs him.
rotations."
He like grabs him by the collar, pulls him like really close. He's like, "Don't you fucking take this away from me."
I don't know. Think you saw how many girls are.
Did you hear that number of girls that he said?
Some ghost stories.
Did
he
you-
runs into stupid
Yeah.
freaking. He's like,
Yeah.
such. You never get a chance like this again.
Yeah.
He ate nurses.
It's like, did you hear how many girls he said? 6. Do you even have that many girls that would sleep with you at all? I didn't think so.
I don't even know 6
Yeah. He's like, and then he looks at somebody else and stares like, do you know 6 girls? He's like, no, sir.
girl.
He's like, no, sir. Yeah, I am a girl. Yeah, and she's like, I am a girl. And the answer's no. And it's like, exactly. But yeah, I mean,
that he made the executive order. We stay.
yeah. I mean, the answer, what I'm assuming, is very clearly has something to do with she's down there, and maybe it's not paradise, but it's very clearly livable, at least, because I'm pretty
Well,
sure
it has
she's
to
not
be
dead.
livable if she's still alive on a
Like,
basic level.
there's no way she's just dead. Like, I would believe that main
Well,
character.
the Ox says she's just dead.
Well, yeah, but that's because the Ox is negative. She's a pessimist. Which, I mean, I don't blame her for saying. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but the
I'm
pessimist,
breaking the
she
fourth
said-
wall.
Doesn't she at one point say she's the one who dug her grave?
Yes.
Okay, good. You did see that part? Yes, I was holding off. Yeah, she said that she found her grave.
Wait for the
dug
spoilers, guys.
outside.
Yeah, no, so she said that, but I mean, so okay, she does,
Like, 'cause
she,
here's the thing, right?
she
There's
saw the grave.
pessimism, and then there's being like, so yeah, I'm the
Okay,
one
no,
who
don't-
dug the grave.
don't get me wrong, I'm being super meta here, okay? In universe, 100% would believe she's dead, right? I'm talking about from the standpoint of this is an anime. If she gets down there and she's dead, then this is nothing. I would
like,
more
you're-
likely
you're saying
believe.
it would probably not be anime of the year if the entire adventure was her getting to the bottom,
And then
it's
her
like,
mom's
oh,
just
yeah,
dead.
And there's the body.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I
How do we
can't
get
leave.
back up?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly, right?
I'd
So, like,
fucking respect it
So
for that.
I would. So if they did want to do something like that, I would much rather prefer she gets down there and her mother's on death's door, and then her mother dies very shortly after her getting there, or something like that.
Like I was just holding on until I could see you, kind of.
Yes, exactly. Also,
I kind of want to get down there, all happy and all happy, nice, happy reunion, and then it's the ambush and killed.
You see, you're all wrong. I want it to be like the basement, where it's like 4 seasons. She finally gets down there, and then it's very
yeah, man.
I think that's the true ending.
Still hate that fucking basement.
But yeah, so that's.
I love the fact.
I mean, if you really wanted to know what's in the basement,
I know what's in the basement, and I
Okay.
hate the fucking basement.
okay. But yeah, like those are my things. Like, it's exactly the thing that I was just talking about with Heavy Rain, where it's like, I love this premise so fucking much, and it's so like episode 1, 2, and 3 grip me so hard into the universe, and I'm super ready to believe it. And then it just seems like episode 4, 5, and 6 just take everything that you knew about the universe, at least to me, take everything that you knew about the universe and everything that you respected, and just stripped all of that away, and just said,
Yes, absolutely.
and
That is literally my like top pet peeve for like any medium ever.
Now,
Like whether
here,
it's
what
a
about this
freaking
theory? What about this theory?
show, a game.
What about this theory? Rico's a little bastard, and they want her gone.
that's very not clear. That's very not true though.
I know.
It would make no sense for that so I might believe you. So here's the thing, right?
If they established that she was just a problem child and like was just a huge inconvenience on everybody there, and it was a very like fight or flight.
Oh yeah, then I could
It
see
would,
that.
it
But
would really suck if you just stopped existing.
so the
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
only reason I would disagree with that is one, leader gave him like a map or some shit,
Oh, hey, it's 100%
Two-
not
oh,
established.
yeah, yeah.
It's not that.
and two, the fact that the uncle goes down for them,
yeah.
right?
No,
and
obviously
he's
that's
not. And when he went down for them, he didn't like leisurely stroll down. He fucking like sprinted because he was going fast
He
as
was
fuck.
cooking it.
He was going fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, he was. For an old fat guy, he was making
Yeah.
tracks, right? Like he's just really good at what he does.
Oh, also, you said they established she was down there for like 7 years, something like that. She's been down there since Riku was like 1 or 2.
Okay, so then it's 10, or at least 10 years.
At least
then.
10 years, yes.
Well,
Because-
I wasn't sure the age. I had said at least 7. Oh shit!
It's what, yeah. So it's however long Riku has been alive minus 2 years, because
Yeah, so 10 years.
because Riku
Because
was
it's
born.
confirmed she's 12.
They brought her up from the abyss.
Yeah.
And then very shortly after she went back down.
I swear. These anime lolis keep getting younger and I keep getting older.
Something's got. Why can't it be the other way? But yeah, that's basically it. And then after that, because they didn't really like the whole thing of her because she was born in the abyss, anything in the abyss has a longingness to go back into the abyss. That wasn't a good enough reason to me to justify how the adults acted in my mind at all.
Yeah, they shouldn't even know about that.
Well, no, it was I thought Leader does.
Leader
Yeah,
knows
Leader
about
would have
that.
known about
Yeah,
it.
Leader
'cause
does.
He had a connection with her mom.
yeah, Leader does.
I'm not sure if they established that because I thought it was Ox and Mother had made sure to keep that a secret.
Maybe I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
that
so
for sure.
Ox would be way more likely to keep that a secret than her mom would be to keep that a secret from Leader.
Especially with the relationship that they had.
Yes.
So yeah, that might
Yeah,
go
considering
into...
Ox
Actually,
is
no,
literally
no,
like, man,
Tyler,
you were
you're
pretty
right.
heavy to carry back up.
Tyler, I think... Yeah. Tyler, I think you're right because that goes in with the promise that I sent you.
Oh, I didn't actually look at that because I was still looking at my script.
Also, Ox is actually just such a badass character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally, no F's given. She's just like, listen. I got a job to do and I'm gonna do it.
It was so
I ain't taking
it was
shit
so
from
fun fighting you that
anybody.
I forgot to hold back.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was sure you could take it.
Yeah, like, she's just a little bit insane. Like, just that nice enough amount that, you know, she still
Yeah.
gets all the shit done, but there's just that tinge of crazy that really
Yep,
makes it
because
like,
she lives in
crazy
the
divide
abyss.
You
just
get to
good
meet
enough.
more insane person later.
Are you talking about the other
I'd
whitelist?
imagine as they keep going, because, you know, one of the symptoms of the
Pardon,
abyss is
Tyler?
insanity.
I said something that might have been a spoiler, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, because the guy that's teased at the season finale,
The guy.
like the very end.
Okay, yeah, the guy. Okay, that's who I said, but I said it in a more spoilery way.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that it's a good thing that got covered up.
Yo, that's what I'm here for. Cover-ups and rees.
Sometimes
Sometimes
QVs
at
are
the same
cover-ups. Yeah.
Like, Tyler, I really want to tell you on why it's important why
I
she
mean-
was 12, but I can't because
No,
it's the
it's-
biggest
I
spoiler
don't-
in
I
the
don't-
entire fucking series.
I don't want you to. I will probably end up watching the other seasons at some point in my life because I feel like I have to like. It's
See
almost
this one
like
through to the
yeah, it's almost like so the best friends.
Dude,
Liam.
literally, that's happened to me with. Okay, so I think the worst anime I've ever seen ever was School Days. Yet I watched the entire thing.
So-
and more so, by like episode 6, when I came to the conclusion, this will probably be the worst anime I ever forced myself to watch. I then marathoned the last 6 episodes
Mhm.
so I could be done with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I had to do this.
So like
Tyler, there's a
wait,
hint I can give by just saying another anime name, but it would be
it's
that might
no, it's
give away
fine. I
too
don't want you
much.
to. I don't want you to.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not going to.
With the best friends,
Wait, try to
Liam.
spoil stuff.
So
I
Liam
don't
and
want to, but I do.
Liam-
I want to talk about it.
So Liam and Pat, they went through I want to say about a 3 to 4 week kick. It was around this time that the second season of Sword Art was running, where they were watching Sword Art as it was running, and it was the exact same thing where they were like, "This is stupid," but I have to keep coming back. Where it's
Yeah,
like
because I've got to see like just what happened.
like the everything else around in this anime is super interesting. Like the abyss itself is super fucking interesting. The things that are in the abyss super interesting. How capable Reg is super interesting.
The plots that develop later on, completely mind blowing, and just the lore that happens.
But the basis of her going down into the abyss is just something
a
that
major plot hole.
I couldn't get over.
Yeah.
In
Basically,
any circumstance.
Tyler, you loved all of the framework for this show, yet the main
I-
driving
man,
elevating force
I
of the
walked
show was
past-
not-
I walked
Like-
past the apartment building and I was like, that apartment building looks like fucking amazing. Holy shit. Like I looked at it, it looked like the White House and I was like, "Oh my god." And then I bought it without actually fucking going inside, and then I went inside of it and it was just there was nothing. The boards were shitty, everything was rotted, and there was spider webs everywhere.
I mean, I don't think it was that bad.
That's that bad to me.
Okay, Tyler.
It's
No,
like,
I mean it is. Like that
if you
I'm sorry if
give
it sounds
the-
like
That's fair.
hyperbole.
if you give the main character plus 5 years, it makes more sense. But it just ruins, or it messes
Yes,
with the
there's
plot later
clearly a
on.
twist. There's a twist
Yeah.
plot point that
Yeah.
ties into her being super young. However, you could have then just written the entire framework around them
That's
being older.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like
And
The-
done a different twist. Like, yeah, you can't use that twist. You are writing the plot. You can make anything happen at
Yeah.
any time ever.
unless
You can make the key element different.
unless it has something to do with her being like I don't like a virgin or something. So those are my thoughts on Made in Abyss.